The date is September 14th, 1977. It's a quiet night in Chicago. 9-year-old Donnie is on his way home after playing in the park when a car pulls up beside him. In the driver's seat is his favorite, Pogo the Clown. With a magical flick of his hand, Pogo pulls chocolates and balloons from a rope, offering them to Donnie. Without hesitation, Donnie climbs into the car, excited by the treats. But that car, it drives off into the darkness. Donnie went with the clown that night, but he never came home again. The police investigated Donnie's disappearance, but they couldn't find any leads. For the past 4 years, similar disappearances had occurred, each surrounded by rumors of a clown sighting. But no solid evidence ever surfaced. 1 year later, December 1978. 15-year-old Robert is working at a pharmacy when a man named Wayne Gacy, a painter by trade, comes in. Before leaving, Robert asks his colleague, Kim, for his jacket. She hands it to him, slipping a film receipt into the... Robert leaves the pharmacy, stepping outside to discuss a potential job with Gacy. But Robert never returns. That night, Robert's parents searched everywhere for him but found no trace. His father wasted no time involving the police. Through their investigation, they discovered that Robert had last been seen with Wayne Gacy. A deep dive into Gacy's criminal history revealed a dark past. He had been imprisoned several times for physical assaults and had a history of intimidating young boys. John was under suspicion for stockpiling. The police began to keep an eye on him, but for several days, there was no movement. Then the police searched his house and found numerous clues. They discovered some very strange things, like clown costumes in Gacy's bedroom, clown makeup, and many scary clown paintings. They also found a lot of adult films, a ring, and numerous sexual toys. Additionally, there were 2 books, Loving Young Men and Pretty Boys Must Die, which were about homosexuality. The police began to suspect that Gacy liked boys and that he might be the clown responsible for the disappearance of young boys. However, what the police observed during their surveillance was completely opposite to their suspicions. Gacy was very helpful in his community. He performed as Pogo the Clown at cancer patients, community parties, and friends' children's birthdays. As the police investigation progressed, they started reinvestigating cases linked to clowns. Many people who had last seen the missing victims described a clown whose build and makeup matched Gacy's Pogo the Clown. Meanwhile, several people came forward and told the police that they knew someone who Gacy had an employee who went missing. Among the missing boys was John Sink, whose ring with the initials JS was found during the first search of Gacy's house. One day, to prove his good image, Gacy invited the police to his home. The officers entered, and Officer Bob, under the pretense of using the bathroom, began searching the house. This time, Gacy's house had changed, filled with clown paintings and performance DVDs. Suddenly, the heating system turned on, and Bob smelled rotting meat from the ducts. This was the same smell Gacy's ex-wife and neighbors had complained about multiple times. Bob suspected that Gacy had hidden the bodies of murder victims in the duct space. Just as Bob was about to investigate the ducts, he found a keychain with the name Dawn on it. Bob remembered that a missing boy named Donnie had a similar keychain. Before Bob could investigate further, Gacy arrived, forcing Bob to stop his search. The police increased the pressure on Gacy, never leaving him unsupervised for a second. As a result, Gacy's clown performances came to a halt. One night, Gacy stormed into his lawyers Sam and Leroy's office in anger and frustration. He asked for a drink and, while drinking, began confessing to how many boys he had killed. He admitted all his crimes without stopping, all committed as Pogo the Clown. Sam and Leroy were shocked and immediately called the police, requesting them to arrest Gacy. However, by the time the police arrived, Gacy had sobered up and denied everything he had confessed, fleeing the scene. But the police teams blocked his car from both sides and arrested him. Gacy confessed to his crimes and marked the locations for the police and forensic team with spray paint. Gacy showed a spot in his house. When Officer Bob shone his torch on that corner, red worms were crawling out. Upon digging, they found 3 decomposing bodies, one of which matched Donnie's DNA. Gacy confessed to burying 27 bodies in his house and dumping 6 in the river, one of which was Robert's. Over the next few weeks, the police dismantled his house, finding 29 bodies in total. During further interrogation, Gacy admitted that he committed all the murders dressed as Pogo the Clown because everyone loved clowns, and no one would suspect a clown of such crimes. He confessed to being bisexual and luring young boys and girls to his house with candy while dressed as a clown. He would then lock them up, use them, and strangle them to death. Eventually, he was arrested for the murders of Donnie and Robert and sentenced to death. Before his execution, Gacy laughed like a clown and said, "Kiss my ass," dying with a smile on his face. Gacy had unidentified accomplices who helped him with these murders. Thank you so much for watching.